So of that.
One mic, two guys, and a whole lot of heavy. This is Heavy Set Go. Oh yeah.
Hello, I'm Jeff Crenshaw.
And I'm Ben Eastman.
And you're listening to
Heavy
Set Go.
Whoa.
Whoa. Wow. Wow. This is our first podcast in a long time, really long time. Bit of a new format. As you could hear, we got a new intro. We're officially a duo. We're ready for a new adventure, and
we are rebooted. Reduxed.
This is the reboot. Although the episode number will remain sequential. To
This
the
is
rest of
the
series.
remake. Back in action.
Yeah, we're
Part
back.
2.
Yeah, we're back. That took a lot of wind out of me trying. I don't know how AC/DC does it. Maybe that's why the guy died. He's saying too much and suffocated.
Actually, to correct you, Bon Scott is the one that died. Bon Scott did not sing on Back in Black. That was Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson is very much alive, good sir.
Is he really alive? Now, is someone when you judge whether someone's alive, do you measure their pulse, or are they going out and living? Are they traveling? Are they hugging their loved ones? So how can you say that he's truly lived?
I was trying to think why it's been 6 months since we've done a podcast, and I think I've been doing just that. I've been living. I've been living and loving my job and my life.
Oh,
but really, it's just
Kmart is a joy.
Horrible depression.
Yeah. Same with actually no. Kmart is a joy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was just gonna say we were talking about this earlier, but for some reason it cracks me up. So of course I didn't turn in my ballot as early as I should have. Like a good voter, I should have, when I got my ballot, filled it out and put it in as quick as possible, or send it back. That way 30 minutes before the deadline at 8 p.m. you're not scrambling to fill out your ballot and get to the ballot office to turn it in, which of course I did do that, although I already knew what most of my choices were going to be, so
I'm glad you're doing your civic duty.
At least did that. But I have to remind the pure joy, this theme of living, if you will. The lady that gave me the "I voted" sticker seriously looked like that was the pride and joy of her entire life, was handing that sticker out on election day. And it made me think of, are you really living? This woman is living her best life.
Well, that is the pride and joy of her life, because her son was arrested in the Enron scandal. I need to find something else to fulfill myself. The children are just disappointed. Here's a voted sticker.
Why does your impression of her sound like my grandmother?
Well, I guess she's kind of become my stock old lady impression. Ben, honey, you want some tater tot casserole?
I just on Mother's Day got back into town after going on a little bit of a trip in the middle of nowhere, and I came back, and my plan was to go out to dinner with my mother, take her out to wherever she wanted to go to have a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I got back, and I texted her. I said, "Hey, just let me know, when you're ready." I knew she was going to be doing a few things with some other people, and I said, "Oh, let me know, when you're ready, and we'll go out and do that." And my intention was I'd get home, take a shower. I came from a place where there wasn't any shower, and I felt all dirty and dusty, and I'd relax for a little bit and hang out. Well, she texted me. She goes, "Hey, well, we actually are going to see a movie." And I was like, oh, cool. And she's like, yeah, it's the new Melissa McCarthy movie.
I know you've been excited for it.
Shut your mouth. Shut your goddamn mouth.
What's it called again?
Life of the Party.
Life of the Party. See, that's the theme.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? The Life of the Party.
Grab life by the horns and
Yeah.
enjoy the best actress out there.
Anyways, I was like, but I mean, I do have Movie Pass, so it's not like I was, and I got to see like my grandma and my aunt and my mom as well too, and so I was like, all right, well, screw relaxing, I'll go see the movie with them, and I was a good sport about it, but it was my grandma is just great. I love her. She's so hard of hearing. Like, she doesn't have a hearing aid, but she is so hard of hearing. And I think sometimes she talks over her volume, obviously, because she can't hear herself right. And, like, in the theater, like, during the previews, like, literally after every preview, loudly stating if she wanted to see the movie or not.
I think this looks like trash.
Oh, my God, that looks good. I'm like...
Oh,
my thing is, when I go see movies and stuff, I don't mind like literally leaning over and saying a little something, or like in between, or during a scene, or in between, but like loudly projecting. God bless her, she's so sweet, and it was Mother's Day, so I couldn't really get mad at her. But
the only time I ever like loudly do it is if I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Like if a 50 Shades trailer starts playing, like, Ben, we have to see that.
yeah. That's kind of fun. But, I love my grandmother, but you're a dead ringer when it comes to your impersonation of her.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Yeah.
We have some drinks in the kitchen if you'd like something. Chris?
Chris is Ben's cousin, and every time we come over, like she starts like,
Chris, you need to get your guests some drinks.
like Chris is the official drink guy.
And Chris goes into his room, comes out in a tuxedo and a napkin.
Chris in a tuxedo. Now that is something I bet I will never see.
Sweatpants tuxedo.
And by sweatpants tuxedo, you mean like sweats or neon shorts, flip flops, and like a hoodie.
Yeah, well,
not too far removed from what you
exactly.
wear.
Yeah,
well, that never occurred to me that you kind of have the same fashion.
Yeah, we do. It's called relaxation. Is what it's called. Yeah, it's a hybrid between relax and fashion. Relaxation. Yeah.
Honestly, when the top of half of my body is like usually like similar to what you wear, like a t-shirt or something, but as opposed to you, like with your like either your flip flops or your Crocs and your shorts, I usually wear jeans and sneakers. My current pair of sneakers has like inch and a half holes on the side, and you can see my socks, and you don't know what fucking pain is.
Crenshaw crater.
When you stub your toes on like the exposed part of the shoe, like against like a shopping cart wheel when you're like doing recovery in the store, or a pallet in the back, just hitting your toes and trying not to scream obscenities.
Dude, stubbing a toe is the worst.
God.
Literally every time I've ever stubbed a toe, I'm almost positive I've broken my toe. Like, when you do it and it hurts so much. You're like, fuck, I'm going to look down. It's going to be a bloody mess. And you look and, nope, your toe's just fucking there. But you're like, ah. It's like the worst pain.
That reminds me of the, sorry, I don't want to forget about this. One of my favorite Ben Eastman stories.
Oh.
One time, we talked about this recently. One time, over the long course of making this film that I'm still working on called Truffle Runners, I like to keep everyone appraised of where we are during in the shoot or something, because if I have all the actors and crew in one chat, I don't have to send a million fucking individual messages to people. Inevitably, there'd be someone I'd forget, and they'd get hurt feelings or whatever. So it's simpler to get everyone encompassed in this singular chat. And it's one time years ago when we were actually filming it. We've been in post-production for several years now. When we were actually filming it, Myra Wicks, sent a message to the group. Myra is an actress in the film. As she sent a message to the group, and she's like, "Hey everyone, tell your mothers that I said to have a happy and blessed Mother's Day, and do something special for your mom because you have no idea how hard she worked to bring you into this world and how painful giving birth is." And she did like a little smiley face. And Ben Eastman, gentleman extraordinaire that he is, responded, "Oh, it's probably not as painful as breaking your toe." And then Myra responded, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is." And Ben's response was a picture of someone with their toe broken off of their foot, and he had the caption, "More painful than childbirth."
Okay, that doesn't reflect very well on me, but it sure as hell sounds like something I would do.
Oh God!
But the best part about it is obviously joking aside. But
Are you mansplaining? Show? I hate that word, by the way.
Hey, thinking about it now, how grossed out I would have been probably looking up that. I probably just Googled it, blindly saved it, and then did like a quick little Photoshop on my phone to add the caption. Wow, the things I will go for a joke. I swear, one of my favorite jokes ever, and I don't remember exactly everything about it, but it was like a group text with all of my high school buddies.
Mm-hmm.
One of our friends, Tyler, had posted. Oh, I don't remember what it was, but it was, he was talking about, oh my gosh, I can't believe someone liked this or something. Was
it that video?
It was
of
the Olympics.
It
was the Olympics, and that greased up one guy. You know, the last two Olympics. It's like this greased up Polynesian dude or whatever, or New Zealand, I think, and he's always wearing this oil, and he's like super buff, and during the opening ceremony, they always cut to a shot of him, and he was pretty famous because all the women blew up Twitter. Oh my God, he's so hot. Well, and so Tyler had said something oh my God, Paula, or maybe his girlfriend, was obsessed with this guy or something like that. And so what I did was use Photoshop to crop on his Twitter where it said Tyler liked this, and I was able to put it over a Twitter post of that, and it looked seamless. You would have not known the difference. And it was some pretty janky Photoshop, but it worked. I happened just to crop it out and fit it to where it looked like it said Tyler Camp liked this. And I shared it. I shared it in our group message, and the people just oh my God, everyone was laughing and giving him so much shit. And see, these are the lengths I go to be a troll.
Oh God!
But I will stop at nothing.
Oh God!
To cut people down a size. Anyways, childbirth is way more painful than cutting a toe.
Wrong.
And or breaking a toe. Myra Ricks is a wonderful stand-up person. One of our best guests we've ever had on this show.
Come back, and Myra.
One of the best actresses I've ever worked with, if not the best actress I've ever worked with.
That's right, because in addition to Truffle Runners, she's also in another film that you're working on. I don't know how much you're wanting to talk about it.
No, I'm definitely willing to talk about it. I haven't really put it out there much because the release date's going to be a little bit further down the road. We're thinking sometime probably in late November, probably December.
Dude, I wish I had an approximation like that for Truffle Runners.
Yeah, well, and obviously it's time. I gotta still shoot the rest of it. I think we're about 50% of the way through, or probably a little bit more than that. And basically, it's called "End to All a Good Night," and I won't give much by way of plot, other than the fact that be prepared for a very suspenseful and interesting new take on Christmas and thrillers. It's a short film. with mostly silent, actually. So
And it really works too.
yeah,
I think.
so working on that and getting that finished up. And Myra Wicks is in it. She plays the lead character, and she's wonderful, fantastic to work with. Easy as always. She's one of the great actresses where you almost feel like you can just like literally set her free, press record, and she'll get almost exactly what you want to hear. So
She's wonderful.
and the best part about it is like I said, I think a majority of the film is going to be completely silent, like just music and visuals, and just with her and her visuals alone, without giving away too much. Awesome stuff. So, anyways, that's what I'm working on right now. Got a few other things down the pike that we're going to be working on with, and I'm looking forward to finally releasing another film. It's kind of funny. However this will come off, I'm not sure, but I think people don't quite realize there really is a lot that goes into literally coming up with a concept and doing it.
Oh yeah.
I think when we were a lot younger, it was like a weekend. We had 2 days and we'd be like, "Hey, you want to make a movie? Sure." We would go out and press record, come up with some dumb concept, and make something really quick.
Usually our films. We used to talk about how like 2011 was like a great year for us filmmaking wise, but like 3 of the movies were the same movie basically.
Yeah.
There's Chung Thunder, which is like the mea culpa of my life. 2 to Tango, and there was like another fight
Was it
trilogy.
Duel?
Okay, maybe.
Or Brett Sampson was 2011. I forget.
Brett Sampson was 2012.
Okay.
Maybe there were 2 fight trilogy films in 2011. But
We made another film too. I think we had a few.
Maybe there were only 2 fight trilogy films or fight trilogy like films in 2011. Now that I think about it, 2011 was Shop Rules. Those Chung Thunder, 2 to Tango, and The Funeral Jar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back then we were just, we had a fire and we were going with it, and that's just kind of how we did. But I think after a while, you get to a point where you realize there's a certain quality that you're missing,
Yeah.
that you want to hit, and I think we kind of.
Would you really want to go out right now and do like a fight trilogy?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't really like people to see that or know me for that as well too.
Yeah.
So and I think when I really started doing some work I was really proud of back in college with some of the short documentaries and stuff that I was making, I think I started taking a more take your time approach. It's more worth it to take your time, and part of the drawback on that is it takes you a lot longer to make a movie. There's something to be said of instant gratification. Oh, let's film a movie in 2 days, get it done in a few days, and release it out there, right? But I think there's something to be said of creating something for people to be excited about, but also something that you can be proud of as well too.
There's 2 kinds of people, I think, in my experience when it comes to filmmaking. There's people that respectfully, I'd say are relatively short-sighted, and they only make a film for the experience of making the film, like how that's going to be and what the immediate reward is going to be. And then there are those who, with like kind of a longer sight, that let's see what could be if the requisite if the requisite effort is put into working towards that achievement. And I think you and I are the latter.
Well, we're going for that. That's
Yeah.
what we're striving for. But it's hard to come up with stuff for film. I mean,
like even back in the day, like when I tried to be the latter, I wasn't always great because we did like Chunk Thunder and stuff like that. But like Serial Killer's Christmas may not have been the greatest film ever, although there's a lot of stuff I love in it. But it was me trying to like write it was me trying for quality.
yeah, or at least I mean, getting an arc and getting plot, character, really working with that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. Kind of looking back on it now, I don't regret anything that I did, even though there's stuff that like I may watch it and cringe,
Uh-huh.
and I don't regret the process of making it and learning from it. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing. Like the other day, I realized like something had happened, and I was talking with a few friends. I used to make skim videos. We call them skim videos because back in high school and right out of high school, a lot of my friends did skimboarding. That was the popular thing to do. We listened to reggae and we skimboarded. So we go to the beach for the weekend. Skimboarding is not like surfboarding, but similar in that you have oval shaped disc that you throw onto water where the waves have just come up and then gone, and so there's a little bit of a film of water on the ground, and you throw it down and you run and jump on it and you slide it over the sand, essentially. And so I got to where I didn't really do it very often. One of the first times I did it, I cracked a rib, so I was always too scared to jump on it again.
Was that the last time you did it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was just. Yeah. I tried it. Not my thing. But I was also the kid who liked to make movies, so I would. In the weekend, I'd shoot them all. You know, doing the skim videos. I'd do a little bit of a video documentary, just doing some random stuff, and then I'd go make a little 5 to 12 minute movie, little mini film of our weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
With music and shit. And I had watched one that I had made. I probably made 6, 7, maybe 8. I don't know how many I made. But I realized, like, that was kind of where I think I really cut my teeth with editing. And kind of getting a feel for how to cut certain things with other things and working to do that. And you don't realize that until years later. Like, you think you're just making some
Oh yeah.
bullshit thing for your friends to laugh at, and then you realize, like watching it again, you're like, wow, that's some kind of interesting.
If you have the right kind of mind, I don't think everyone could learn necessarily from that. Because and I'm not saying that to be like insulting or egotistical, but I think some people just have that kind of mind where they absorb that kind of experience and whether knowingly or unknowingly, and they're able to apply it later as a skill. Like and those same people might be better at like accounting or filling out a spreadsheet or something than I am. But like for me, like holding a camera, when I used for what was useful for me is when you used to be in Waiting in Vain back in the day, and it was after I graduated high school for my senior graduation present. My mom got me a video camera, and I would take that thing to your like Waiting in Vain shows, and I just filmed them, and it was like at the time it was just me filming for you guys. The first thing I filmed was like you had a party at the house in the backyard, 4th of July 2008.
Yeah,
Like a month after I graduated.
we had 2 concerts.
Ha! There was that thing, and then I just like set it on a tripod, and just let it run, and that wasn't very creative on my part. It was like you're like halfway down the screen, and but then the next time I actually started like trying shit, and I think that was when you did the show at the Satyricon.
Yeah.
In Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like did zooms up and like to your face and then down to your guitar, and I zoomed across the band, and then I'd zoom out for like a fairly wide shot of everyone playing, and I was just fucking around with the camera. But I think that that helped me, I think, learn how to compose shots better than I used to.
I think we ended up using the audio for that to make a little live CD too.
I think you did.
We never like released it or anything, but it was something that we listened to just because it's kind of fun to have a different.
I remember you posted it on MySpace though.
Oh, maybe we did. Oh, nice.
Waiting in Vain live at the Satyricon.
Yeah, yeah.
I found a DVD recently. Like all the like concert footage is like online, but the stuff that's not online is like there's an interview I did one-on-one with you, it's so crazy to watch. Because everything is like so of that time. So I understand you have a film coming out. Yes, I do. It's called The Lampshade Man, coming up later this month. Film at Fame Night, and I understand you're going to be scoring a film. Yes, the great Jeff Crenshaw is coming up with his follow up to The Truth of the Heart. It's going to be called The Magic Hour, and it was actually Magic Hour, but Magic Hour was this film I made.
I was gonna score that.
You were.
Damn, I forgot about that.
And maybe I'll still make it someday. The script just needs to be completely rewritten because it's awful. But the plot was this doctor convinces this guy that he's turning into a vampire, and he needs to kill this list of other vampires before magic hour this certain day, or else he'll stay a vampire forever. But the guy's not really a vampire. He's just being manipulated and used to kill people. And that was basically the story. Like,
And that was before we saw Vampires Kiss.
yeah, it was. And
Not really the same plot, but in the same vein, almost.
I remember where I got the phrase magic hour. It was this photography class I took.
Yeah.
My very first term at PCC. And my early college experience wasn't the most productive. It started. It looked like I was going to fail the class, so I ended up dropping out. I dropped out of like 2 classes that term. Well, one because I was the photography class because I really was horrible with my assignments, and then there was a college survival class that kept inaccurate records of my attendance. And I'll definitely take my lumps for my own failures, but the college survival class, I got screwed over. But yes, magic hour I learned in the photography class. I think I have a tendency to go on tangents.
Yeah. All right. College school dropout. Do do do.
I
Do do do. Do do.
I ended up going back to school and to try and rectify my GPA because some job applications. So what was your GPA?
Dude, that sounds like another great song for a musical. Rectify my GPA. Do
I ended up bringing it up. It's not great, but it's not failing.
rectify my GPA.
Oh God.
Anyways, no, yeah, and then that ended up being the first film I think I had ever actually scored was Serial Killers Christmas.
Well, I love that score.
Which is one of my favorite ways of I haven't really done it like that since. Although actually I've kind of worked on that when the new film that I'm helping score for Calvin called Jesus I Was Evil.
Mm-hmm.
But yours was great. I think I remember just kind of taking an amp and turning it to a few kind of trippy, and then I completely detuned the guitar from its normal standard tuning and just kind of literally created. I set my sound recorder to record and literally just recorded probably 45 minutes worth of stuff, and you cut it together as a score, and it works great. It's interesting. It. I always forget that I did that, and then you listen to it all together, and it works. That's
it was you and Kevin MacLeod.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But the stuff you did was so good. It's the intro music.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, so that's cool. I don't know what started down this way. We were talking about influences and kind of what.
It was. I think it was when I was. Sorry, man. My hip is hurting.
Well, it's not lying.
We were talking about how you learned how to edit and how I learned how to shoot.
Yeah, it's debatable if I actually know how to edit, but
And
how to
if
do
know how to
whatever I
shoot.
do that I yeah exactly whatever I'm doing. That's how I learned how to do it. Yeah.
So you said you wanted to talk about like movies. Did you get like any ideas for like lists we can make or?
Well, I was thinking just a few weekends ago we went to Crypticon.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Crypticon's a convention, horror film, sci-fi film convention in the great city of SeaTac.
SeaTac.
The
Everyone will tell you it's in Seattle. It's not. It's in SeaTac.
yeah, well, I mean, it's the airport, which is not totally in Seattle because there are very few airports in an actual downtown metropolis like city. Usually they're a little bit outside. And it's half in Tacoma, half in Seattle. Therefore, take letters from both of the names, put it to SeaTac. Anyways, it's actually nice to be able to stay in SeaTac because then you can drive into the city. I think always driving into the city is a little bit easier when you're outside of it rather than being downtown. It's harder to park downtown. Also, Seattle is completely vertical, so driving in there is ridiculously scary at times.
It's like if they called Wilsonville Portland, because it's between Portland and Salem.
Yeah. Wow. Port Lamb.
Portland.
Now I want a euro. Anyways, we went, and kind of the main reason was going is actually our buddy Calvin, who's been in our films. He was up there as well, and he was showing his film Kathy's Closet, which I was able to score as well.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't able to be there for that.
We saw him for like a full 15 minutes that weekend.
Hey, but it was cool to see him up there.
It was him and Natalie.
You don't get to see them. We don't get to see them very often, so that when we, even do, if we have to drive to Seattle to do it, it was worth it. But anyways, we kind of needed a few days to relax because work is so stressful. So we went up there,
God, yeah.
get some grub, throw away my Weight Watchers counting for 2 days.
Blow my entire fucking paycheck,
And
which I did with relish.
we went up, and I blew a good amount of money too. But main reason I was thinking is that you blew most of your money on some great B movies you purchased.
Oh,
And
yes.
a few of which you may not want to talk about here.
Oh.
But it made me think.
We're all adults here.
Yeah, we're all adults here. A few of them made me think like, oh, that would be fun to name some of our favorite B movies. Maybe talk some of our favorite B movies that are so bad they're good, or just movies we really enjoy that are pretty low budget.
Can I put a caveat on that?
Yeah.
Because it's obvious that it will come up. Let's immediately, right now, preemptively strike The Room from the list.
Well, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love The Room?
It's the
I love how crazy it's like. It's huge. I feel so cool. Someone was like, they were all talking about Disaster Artist when we were hanging out, and Tyler goes, "Wow, Ben, you were like at the start of that." No, we weren't really at the start of that, but we've been like huge fans of it for what, close to 8 years?
Yeah,
8-9 years.
You know what occurs to me?
What?
Us becoming fans of The Room is closer to the making of The Room than it is to right now. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was like. It was filmed it was released in 2003, and so like we're 1 year further away from us becoming fans than we were from the making of.
Was it what, 2009, 2010?
What happened was it was we used to like find these
I love how we
trailers.
said let's not talk about it.
Well,
yeah.
no, I mean not in like our list.
Yeah.
What happened was like you sent me the trailer.
Yeah.
And it was like the most insane fucking thing I've ever seen. It had the
passion of Tennessee Williams.
That's exactly. It had these quotes in the trailer with no citation, at all. It was like, enjoy this quirky new black comedy with the passion of Tennessee Williams. And there's stuff in the movie. Oh, but no, what happened was you sent me that, and I'm like, oh my god, is this real? And you're like, I don't know. And then apparently it is real. And then we talked back and forth, and eventually, like, it kind of gained steam online after that. And like the next year, which was 2010, I think you found it in '09. The next year, we got word that there was going to be a screening in Portland, and Tommy Wiseau was going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. It was pretty big, and I think in the kind of L.A. Area as like a cult thing with midnight showings and stuff before we had got into it. But now it's like a complete phenomenon.
I think everyone knows it exists.
Yeah, now it's in the lexicon. I mean, everyone knows about it now. But it made me kind of think, like, I hate being that person. Oh, I liked it first.
I was the second person in the Northwest.
Yeah, I made that joke, which is funny to Tyler because he's the one that is making fun of.
He like a salesman told him that he was the second person in the Northwest to buy this cell phone plan.
Yeah,
or something.
And so we always joke about that. Yeah, but when he said that to me, I was like, "Yeah, I was the second person in the Northwest to like the room." Anyways, regardless of that tangent, we love the room. Always will. We've seen it probably at least 15, 20 times. And we love going to meet Tommy almost every time that he comes. But I thought, like, oh, that'd be fun to list some of our favorite B movies. So I'll start just to go ahead.
I honestly don't know how I'm going to do here because I don't have, like, a deep
Google,
knowledge of B movies.
Yeah.
My phone's recording the podcast. I don't want to, like, fuck around with it right now.
Yeah.
But I'll try and think of some, okay?
Yeah, exactly, and then we'll just talk about it. So, one of my favorite B movies of all time, which I don't think it wasn't in our top 10 when we did this, but it's a movie that I would consider like a desert island movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
It brings me a lot of joy. We just watched it recently as well, and what made me think about it was Crypticon Rock and Roll High School.
Oh, yes.
Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones.
That's a B movie?
Yeah, technically, it's a Roger Corman picture. I mean,
oh wow, I guess
that's Mr. B movie. But
wow,
it has the Ramones, who were huge at the time. There's a lady named Riff Randall, played by the wonderful PJ Souls, which I met at Crypticon, and she is a rock and roller, Riff Randall, and she's a huge Ramones fan. And the school has a new principal that's, trying to make everyone act proper and prim, and and they can't listen to rock and roll music.
She's that character. She's like that principal from Grease or the principal from Porky's.
Yeah, trying to oppress the kids, but it's such a fun movie. It's completely zany. It's 150% ridiculous.
Clint Howard's creepiest role yet.
Yeah, and there's some parts that will like you can't get away with that now. But it's so much fun. I mean, I love the Ramones music. Their stuff's
What's it about
awesome.
though? Like what's the story in the? You've given like the basic essence of what the film is.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like it's the kids versus the authority is what the plot is.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's them trying to rebel against this, the leadership in the school trying to make it so they can't rock and roll. I mean, is there a real like deep plot to it? No, but it's just fun. It's got great music. It's got ridiculous jokes, and it's cut together like really well. Like, so even if it's a B movie. And it's very breezy. It's like easy to watch. Like, I've seen it probably 15 times, but it's one of my favorites to watch. And what's funny is someone who wrote it, Joe Dante, who wrote some of my favorite films, The Burbs, directed Gremlins, directed Howling. So he's a great filmmaker. He had a big part of making this. And the person who shot it, Dean Cundy. One of my favorite cinematographers, guy who...
He shot Back to the Future, and didn't he?
Well, yeah, Back to the Future, I think Jurassic Park,
Wow.
also did Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and that's not the films that I remember him for. I remember him for working with Carpenter. He did a lot of John Carpenter's movies throughout his career as well.
Who's that guy that always works with the Coen Brothers? Roger Deakins, that's right.
Roger Deakins, who just won his Oscar, finally.
For Blade Runner 2080, for 2040, whatever.
2049, yeah, which was very well overdue.
I'd hire those guys.
Oh, yeah, Deakins, great.
They both are.
But, yeah, so my first one would be Rock and Roll High School. It's one of my favorite. I would even consider that a desert island type film. It's one of those films that just makes me feel good every time I watch it.
The entire soundtrack is pumped with Ramones music.
Yeah.
How does that not just get your heart beating?
Exactly. And I had the original vinyl, the original vinyl. I purchased one, and it even had the sticker on it, the sticker saying featuring, the actual sticker. And the best part about it said PJ Souls because it had the version of Rock and Roll High School, which was obviously a big hit for the Ramones, but it also had the version in which she sings in the movie.
Oh wow!
On there, so when
I went to
versions, yeah, I had both versions. So when I went to Crypticon, I wanted to get her to sign that, and immediately she was really happy when I handed it to her because I think she looked to her autograph handler, or they always sit with someone else that helps them out, take money or whatever, and she looked really proud when she held it up next to her, and she was like, "Look, he has a real one, like an original." So it was an original one, but anyways, I love the vinyl. It's a great vinyl, still plays. So, what about you? Give me a B movie you like.
B movie. I think
we could be here for days.
We could.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have trouble thinking of a lot of them because I haven't seen a lot of ones that I just immediately that flash B movie in my head.
Yeah.
But one, I'm gonna go fairly obscure here. It's an Ed Wood movie, and it's not. Although it'll probably be also on my list, but it's not the one you're thinking.
Glenn or Glenda?
No, Jailbait.
Oh.
I was surprised. I was kind of introduced to Ed Wood. Well, the first time I ever heard of anything Ed Wood related was I was a junior in high school, and it was the first film I ever helped out with. It kind of put me in the direction of being a filmmaker. It was Tyler Shaw's Aneurysm that he made as a junior in high school, and Mr. Allen. Tyler turned in the film to Mr. Allen. I hadn't seen it yet, and in Mr. Allen, he used to sit at his computer in a swivel chair, and he swiveled up to me and looked up at me and said, Jeff, you look like one of the zombies from Plan 9 from Outer Space." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah." And I'm thinking, "Oh, cool, must be some big professional movie I've never heard of." And then I ended up seeing
Thor?
it. Huh?
Was his name Thor? What was the guy's name in Plan 9 from Outer Space? It's that big bald guy, right?
Tor Johnson?
Thor, that's it, not Thor.
No, no.
Oh.
But he wasn't referencing anyone in particular. I just think he in general, he said I could have been in the movie.
Oh, okay. Well.
You look like Tor Johnson with your curly mane of hair.
Yeah, right.
No. But
I can see it. Fuck you.
Yeah, you saw Jesus in your French toast. But
I did.
That's the first time I ever heard of it, and then later, years later, I've discovered the film, and then I saw Ed Wood, and really Ed Wood is my main introduction to Ed Wood, and I eventually went to Borders, and I bought that's right, Borders. It existed for a while. I found my Borders rewards card the other day. That's
I know you
cool.
did.
And I bought the Ed Wood box, and it had not all the stuff he's affiliated with, but the stuff he directed, from the main Ed Wood era, the 50s basically.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch I had heard of, but then there was one I hadn't. It was Jailbait, and it's this. I was fascinated, and that may have been the one I watched first, and it's like if it's this like heist gangster movie. It's like what you imagine when if someone like it's like kind of almost what you would imagine if Conan O'Brien wrote a gangster movie. Now you see here, see, I'm not thinking, see, but it's absolutely earnest. Like I don't remember all the lines. Like there's some really really cheesy lines in it. The one line I do remember, this lady's going into the police station because her brother was just arrested, and the lady's played by Dolores Fuller, who was she was played by Sarah Jessica Parker in the movie Ed Wood. And I also dedicated Serial Killers Christmas to her when she died. Yeah. But she goes in, and the detective is saying, well, your brother was found today with a gun without a permit. And she's like, so what? A lot of people have guns. And the detective's like, well, having a gun can be a very dangerous business. And the next line is one of my favorite lines of all time. She says, well, so can a lot of things, like building a skyscraper.
What?
Yeah. I have no idea what.
Gotta love Ed Wood. Gotta love him.
But basically, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Ed Wood's Jailbait, I'm gonna spoil it now. Basically, what it boils down to is there's this guy, this girl's brother, comes from a prominent family. The father is a very well loved. Plastic surgeon, and this guy has fallen into this wrong crowd. He's associated with this gangster named Vic Brady, you see? And like he and Vic Brady, I'm saying his name like that because that's how he sounds in the movie.
That does sound like Conan O'Brien's
right
impersonation there.
They like go and rob this theater after hours because there's a safe, and they like kill the night watchman, and suddenly the cops are after them, and this guy starts to get cold feet about it because he's guilty over killing the night watchman. So then Vic Brady decides to like shoot him, and he is turning on Vic Brady because the cops are after him. They're closing in, so he decides to go to this plastic surgeon's house, and he tells them, listen, you old geezer, I have your son hidden away, and if you don't do what I ask, see, I'm going to ice your son, and he's going to die. And he's like, oh no, my son. And then like Vic Brady, like, where should I go for the surgery? And this being an Ed Wood movie, he lays down on the surgeon's couch for the plastic surgery, like in the living room. He lays on the couch, and that's where he ends up performing the surgery. But before the surgery, the doctor goes in to the other room, to the kitchen to wash his hands, and he's looking through some stuff. And I'll be honest, I don't remember how he finds the evidence, but he comes across evidence that shows him that, I don't remember what it is either, but it shows him that his son has been killed, and Vic Brady's lying to him about having the son like in another location because the extortion is him. But he's like, oh my goodness. He goes in and he decides to perform the surgery anyway. And so he starts working on the dude's face, and he's like, you have to come back in 2 weeks. He's like, I will, see? And if the surgery turns out well, you'll get your son back, see? And he leaves, and 2 weeks later he comes back, and so there's a bunch of cops at the house, and like they're looking for the son and Vic Brady, and Vic Brady shows up, and the cops are like, "So, who are you?" And he's like, "I'll tell you one thing. See, I'm not Vic Brady. You're gonna see it when you'll see I'm not Vic Brady when they take the bandages off my face. I am not Vic Brady." And oh, okay. Well, let's take the bandages off. And there's like this music gets progressively more intense as he begins cutting, and he takes off the bandages, and you see the back of his head, and it kind of reminded me of like that scene in Batman after the Joker gets now you Mook see now, huh? I am not Vic Brady. And the cops are like, "You're right. You're not Vic Brady, but you are under arrest." It's like, "What?" And he gets a mirror and he looks in the mirror, and the surgeon cut his face and made him look like his son. And he's like, "Oh my God!" And he runs out, and the cops chase the dude down and shoot him. And like he ends up falling into a swimming pool a la Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
But like the surgeon made Vic Brady look like the son that Vic Brady killed, and he ended up getting shot. But throughout the entire movie, I'm pretty sure the entire thing except one scene, there's this constant Spanish guitar. It's like your guitar at the beginning of Duel, and it's all throughout the film. And there's one scene that's cut into the movie randomly. I think because it's supposed to take place in a theater, or something. I didn't even know this, but Ed Wood cut a scene from an entirely different movie and put it into Jailbait. I forget what the movie's called now. But it's the scene of blackface. Like this woman is talking to this white dude wearing blackface. Like, "So where are you from?" "Where am I from? I'm from Alabama." And it's like the most offensive thing I've ever seen. And it's not even like Ed Wood didn't even shoot it. He stole it from another movie. But apparently he wanted that to take place inside the theater where the heist was going on, so he just took it. Though Ed Wood often did use B-roll footage, but I didn't know he like stole scenes.
I know he used like some stock footage as well too.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Damn. You literally explained every single thing about that film.
You should still watch it.
I gotta want to watch it. Yeah. Every time you said Jailbait, I think of Elvis's Clam Bake. Like, can I have a jailbait?
Next to my list.
Yeah. Is that a B movie though?
I think it counts.
I don't know. I don't know if that counts.
Wow.
Because that was like a real studio like picture.
Well.
But I guess that's because while you're talking, for an hour there, I was thinking to myself.
Oh, sorry. I explained the movie that I chose.
I was thinking like, what other B movies do I like? And I was like, what's the criteria for a B movie? Because I'm having trouble. If I was at my movie collection, I'd probably be like, I'd pick up like a whole crap ton. But I was trying to think of another B movie.
Well, keep in mind, studio movies can be B movies, but a B movie isn't necessarily like an indie thing. It's the thing that's not the A-list movie. And Elvis's movie is the only reason people went to them was Elvis. They were like, "Oh, there's this movie about this young man who's having a clam bake.
Yeah,
he must see it."
Yeah, but Elvis was also a really big draw too. So I wouldn't consider an Elvis movie to be a B movie, even though had they not been Elvis in the movie, they probably would be considered B movies technically.
I don't know. I still kind of think of them as such because if Elvis was the only draw, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but you're
okay. Well, I see your point. I'll agree to disagree on that. But
all right.
I was trying to think of some other B movies that I really enjoy, and
Jerry Seinfeld's B movie.
No, that's creepy. I've seen clips. No, it's generally a very creepy movie. I was trying to think of some B movie horror movies that I like, so I'm just gonna list off a few that I like. just because I don't want to forget about them. They may not be like my favorite B movies of all time, but they are up there. One B movie that I really do like, which seems a lot of people as of late have found out do not like it whatsoever, but I'm like, okay. House of the Devil, which I think we've talked about
I
before.
love that one.
I think that's a great B movie flick, and it's
People don't like it? What?
yeah. A lot of people don't like it for some reason.
They prefer their horror movies to have like wet-haired Japanese girls coming out of TVs.
Yeah, never been my thing, but not that they're not scary, but the House of the Devil is a really like great throwback. Like clearly they're trying to make a movie that feels like it came out in the 70s. But, it's shot on 16 millimeter, which you don't see hardly at all anymore. Mm-hmm. So the picture is really grainy. Not to say the photography is bad, because it's beautiful. But it's just a very 70s-esque, like, House of Horrors. Woman needs some money. She answers an ad to house sit for some sketchy-ass people. And, whatever you do, don't go into this one room, and I won't give it away. But just like the way the kind of twist comes out, and the whole film is very suspenseful. It's really well done. It is a slow burn type thriller, which I think maybe some people who aren't really all for that don't like that. I think it's great.
May I add something?
Yeah.
I will never hear the Fixes one thing leads to another the same way ever again.
Every time I hear that song, I automatically think of House of the Devil.
Me too.
Yeah, because it's such a great. Because I think the whole sequence is very suspenseful. Her quiet, but she orders a pizza and then like decides she's gonna play pool, and she puts on her headphones, 8-track, and it's the Fixes. One thing's lead, and she plays pool to it. But it's such a polarizing, like, thing that totally disarms the audience in the movie in a positive way, like, because you're like on the edge of your seat, and then that happens. But that's a great movie. I think that I would consider that a B movie, very low budget.
You would never. When you're watching the movie, you would never ever get the impression that it was filmed outside of the 80s.
Yeah.
Except, like, Dee Wallace is in the movie, and she's, like, in her 60s or something in the movie, and in the actual 80s, she was, like, in her 40s.
Yeah.
But,
and Greta Gerwig is in it, too, who was nominated as Best Director for...
for Lady Bird. She was in that? Is she the lead?
No, she's not the lead, but she's the friend.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her.
I loved her. I loved Lady Bird.
Greta Gerwig's great.
She is.
But, so that's one that can immediately come to mind. I was trying to think of one that's maybe a bit older that I like as well. And, although I wouldn't consider it as much as some of the others, I think it's often thought of as a B-movie picture. And that probably one of my favorite scary movies of all time, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Even though that was a Universal Horror Pictures, that was kind of considered more B-movie-esque than some of the other ones. And I love that movie. That there's so much just great entertainment and fun things going on there. Like it's funny, but it's kind of beautiful. Like I always think the underwater photography looks absolutely fantastic in that movie. Like I watching it thinking, man, how the fuck did they do some of that stuff? Like it's really good.
How did he swim so gracefully in a heavy
right?
suit?
Yeah, could you really imagine that? But that's a fun movie. And it's for some reason people often consider it like literally the lesser of those Universal horror movies. But I
don't know
consider
why.
it like right up there as far as entertainment. Like I think it's one of the most fun.
It's great.
Julie Adams is an absolute knockout. I got to meet her. She's the leading lady, and we both met Rico Browning, who played the underwater creature of the Black Lagoon.
I was trying to. I forget now what the reason. My uncle explained the reasons that they had different actors for the above water and underwater scenes. I can't remember what it was. Do you remember? Do you know?
No, I don't.
There was a reason, but I can't remember. I think like the above water guy was bigger, but he couldn't swim well.
Well, yeah.
But they wanted like the imposing size for the above water scenes, and Riku was the shorter guy. I think that was a dude. You should. My uncle Pat has this. It's a DVD set. It's not a Blu-ray set like ours, but honestly, it's cool. It's cooler than our set. Oh God, she's on the phone. It's cooler than our set. Even though it's DVD, because there's like a case for each one. The Dracula, the Wolf Man, the Invisible Man, the whatever. Not only does it have like those films, but it has like each of the sequels.
Oh, wow.
In each case, like Son of Dracula, or the Dracula's daughter, whatever Dracula, and Abbott and Costello meet Dracula.
Oh, wow.
Like every like iteration from that era.
That's cool.
And I was like, holy shit. It makes our set, which I thought was pretty badass, and it is badass.
I think I know of the set that he has, but that would be fun to see all the sequels and stuff too. That's one that I love. And we got to see it in the 3D version. You were with. That was the Hollywood thing.
Yes. Yeah. Oh God, that hurt my eyes so much.
Yeah, I remember that hurting my eyes too. But it was like the original way that the 3D was set up, so the red and blue. I remember like after a while it was kind of hurting my eyes, but it looked really cool.
I had to take my glasses off and close my eyes just to part of it, but I loved this. I loved the scene with like the aquarium and like the fish in the foreground and people walking. But that was really
some of it looked really great.
Oh.
A few other ones that can come to mind too. I mean, talking about Creature.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Bulletproof is another really fun B movie.
Oh yeah.
That comes to mind. Gary Busey action flick B movie, like where the studios somehow thought Gary Busey would be a marketable action movie star, which, yes, God bless those people for thinking that, because it gave us the gift of Bulletproof. Bulletproof gave us a great line as Butthorn, which...
that was the line that was like in the line. Like, what was the full line?
Come and get it, Butthorn, or something like that. Because the best day, to this day, Google Butthorn, and you will get a definition that references from that movie with Gary Busey. The best part, you know who he says Butthorn to? Danny Trejo.
Oh, wow.
But there's that movie's just ridiculous. There's so many great things in it. And then there's also like a whole scene where he's playing a saxophone on a beach.
May I take this moment to remind you that Calvin McCarthy still thinks the Buddy Holly story is the best Gary Busey movie.
And he's never seen Plato's Run. He's never seen Bulletproof. Point Break. Yeah. Maybe not a Gary Busey movie, but a fucking great Gary Busey performance.
The Buddy Holly story isn't even the best The Day the Music Died movie.
Yeah.
La Bamba is.
I think we've talked about this before.
Not on the podcast.
Oh, maybe not. We just talk about it so much, it feels like.
We did.
But Bulletproof is great, and I was just reminded, too, because I missed out on this due to work and being away, but Fred Williamson was in town showing his film Black Caesar, which I actually have not seen. It's one of his most famous films. But I was thinking of a movie that he did that I freaking loved, and now I can't think of the name of it because I always think it's Soda Cracker, but it's not. It's a different movie he did. Oh, it's called The Big Something. Shoot.
You know what's funny? I know what film you're talking about. When I found it on like Crackle or something like that once years ago. And it was listed as Soda Cracker on Crackle, and like the little poster said Soda Cracker.
But it's not. It was like, it's the big... Oh, not the big heist, but it's like the big lowdown, or... Oh,
I don't know. But what I do remember is the end credit song is ridiculous. It's like this like disco-y, and like it's like this chick singing disco like she's like a soda cracker. They call him soda cracker, but it's just a nickname. It's just a nickname. Soda cracker. It's just a nickname.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick any Fred Williamson movie. He's great. He's so awesome, and
The Hammer.
just the guy's just badass. And was it like he won't do any film unless he gets the girl in the end. Like that's his like personal rule. Like he has to be able to win the day and get a girl in the end. That is just like legit awesome B movie status right there.
What about Last Ounce of Courage?
Oh, is that?
Where he plays the mayor of the town, he plays like this official in the town, and the mayor is this like he's a mayor, but he's also a pharmacist that works at a pharmacy full time, and the mayor at the same time, and the mayor like his son died in Iraq, but now all of a sudden he's facing a new battle because Fred Williamson doesn't want to let him have the nativity put up in a courthouse or something. And he's like, you can't do this. This is public land, and God has no place in the public square. And the hero of the movie is like, well, we'll see about that. And somehow the dead kid in Iraq, like, is like a motif throughout. It was. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen like a review of it, and it's so crazy.
He's made so many movies. I just realized the name of the movie that I was thinking of. The Big Score.
The Big Score.
So The Big Score and Soda Cracker are two different movies. We've seen them both, but I always just gotta think it's hilarious. Soda Cracker, like that's his name that he goes by in that movie.
Especially when you think
Soda Cracker.
When you think of the term cracker, you don't think Fred Williamson.
Yeah, and I always think of my dad because he's the one that calls them soda crackers, and sometimes I would do like, my dad instead of eeny meeny miny mo, he would do Ickaback soda cracker, Ickaback boo, Ickaback soda cracker, I choose you. Like that's how my dad always did that. So I always think of soda cracker. It pertains to that. Anyways, back to The Big Score. Okay, The Big Score is a ridiculously awesome B movie. But it's got a fucking badass score. It's got a score that's so good I almost wanted to Quentin Tarantino it, which Quentin Tarantino is known for taking scores for other films and then using them in his.
Yeah.
Not just songs, which he does that as well, but he likes to take other people's scores and put those in his film. Why not? If they're good. Sure. But it has such a great like opening intro score and just music in it. It's just great. And he's like the ultimate B-movie guy because he like realized he wanted to be a film star and he just decided to make his own movies, and so he does his own production as well too. So he's kind of like a Roger Corman but stars in his movies.
Damn, that's awesome.
But yeah, I kind of just listed off the crap ton. What are some that you were thinking of?
Oh, fuck you.
I know, right?
Hey Jeff, let's take turns. Oh well, there's this. I don't know. I don't have any more. Well, obviously, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah, duh. I love that one.
I don't think it's a B movie, but I'm so tempted just to say Silver Streak with Gene Wilder. It's on a B movie, so it doesn't count, so I can't say that. But Plan 9 from Outer Space obviously is a classic. It's Ed Wood. I don't think I can add anything to it that hasn't been said. But if you haven't seen it, it's considered Ed Wood's quintessential movie. Came out in 1959. And
it's funny. It's like it's often considered one of the worst ones of all time. You watch it; it's completely entertaining.
It is.
Like if you're really thinking about it, yeah, it's pretty bad. But there's something just incredibly enjoyable about it. And not even in the so bad it's good way. Like, it's just an enjoyable film.
Oh, there's some stuff that's so bad it's good.
Horrible.
Like, there's a scene where a cop, like, keeps scratching his head with a gun.
Yeah.
And, like, he points the gun barrel towards his forehead.
Yeah. And he's, like, talking with it, twirling it around.
There's a scene where these guys are flying a plane, and the cockpit is, like, 2 arches and, a fake backing wall. And they have the random, like, electronic components in front of them that I'm not sure are actual plane parts. Oh, the most noticeable thing, he the way he got funding for this movie is he agreed to be baptized by these Baptist ministers, and he did that. He did the baptism to get funding, and he had his friends get baptized. That was something in Ed Wood that actually did happen, and he convinced them to film the movie because he shot this random footage of Bela Lugosi before he died, and he had like a couple cans of footage of Bela Lugosi, and that was a selling point he used with the Baptist ministers to finance the film. Ooh, we have a film star, and what ended up happening was they ended up getting this dude to like double for Bela Lugosi to fill in his scenes, who looks nothing like Lugosi. He's like Lugosi was probably 5'6", 5'7", and this dude's like a foot taller. And there's just a bunch of ridiculous things in the movie, but somehow it's great. There's a graveyard where all the headstones are obviously cardboard. There's we're supposed to believe that Vampira was the wife Bela Lugosi was married to for 53 years or whatever it says in the movie. And like she's the reanimated corpse of the wife. And she's not that old, let alone old enough to have been married for 53 years. There's just a bunch of crazy things in the movie. I don't know if this is... I don't think this is... Maybe this is cheating. A little bit. And it is cheating. Can I qualify it like this? I don't think it was a B movie originally, but it kind of became relegated as one after it came out. It was rebranded as a B movie. Ben hates it. I love it. Most people hate it.
Mommy
I love
Dearest.
it. Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't fucking fuck your shit up. You fucker. What's wrong with you?
He's genuinely...
Yes, I am, because I was announcing it, you fucking dick. Yes, it's Mommy Dearest. Faye Dunaway refuses to talk about it to this day. You won't let me fucking announce my own thing. God.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were going to take it so hard.
You're a fucking dick. God damn it. And your beard looks ridiculous. Like, who has brown hair and a red beard? It's like the weirdest fucking combo.
I know! Thanks
Jesus.
for reminding me.
It's like you're...
Is this how you're going to feel better about yourself? Because you're pissed off that
like,
I'm Mommy Dearest in front of you? You've spent the better half of probably one of our podcasts talking about Mommy Dearest. So I had to cut you off.
It's like God looked at you from like the clouds and said, I fucking hate this one. He gave you that ridiculous red beard.
Right.
But yeah, Mommy Dearest, Faye Dunaway gives a great performance. Diana Scarwood, or whatever the hell her name is, as the grown-up kid, her performance isn't so great, but it's fun. But I think Faye Dunaway truly could have been, if the film had been received more fairly, I think she could have been an Oscar contender. And when I say it was retroactively a Boo movie, I mean it originally came out as like an A movie, but then it got trashed by critics for some reason. I thought the film was terrifying, frankly. When you watch the scene in context, everything feels real.
Maybe because it was just completely unwatchable and
It was not
enjoyable whatsoever.
It's a great movie. It's
tedious.
It's scary. It's
scary. I agree, 100%, but completely tedious.
I disagree.
And made horribly, like without an ounce of anything. Like, I don't know who the hell was directing that movie.
Frank Perry.
Yeah, well,
It was really well done.
probably didn't have a career after that one.
It was maybe not because it was received poorly, but I think I think the reception and your opinion, uh, they're just wrong. Just wrong. I feel like I'm David against the Goliath of Eastman and like every other critic on earth. But
Hey, that's okay. We've all got opinions of movies, uh, like that. So that's what they are. They're opinions.
Exactly.
You know,
But
my opinion's fact, but
factually wrong. But I think if it was looked at fairly, it could have been. But people only remember the no wire hanger scene out of context because most of the people that joke about the movie nowadays haven't actually seen it because they've only seen clips, and out of context the no wire hangers scene is ridiculous. But when you watch this slowly constantly unraveling and sloppy recomposing of this veneer of sanity that this woman has, this woman turns into this kind of a sweet mother in front of other people, but you can see this rage boiling underneath, and there's always just this concern oh God, is this kid gonna live through childhood? This woman is nuts. It's a thriller. It's kind of on the same order of what happened to Baby Jane, only if Joan Crawford had played the Betty Davis character and Joan Crawford's kid played the Joan Crawford character. It's kind of a thriller, honestly, in the way that it comes across. And yeah, that's one of my favorite B movies. It was originally an A movie, but it was rebranded as a B movie when it got such bad reception, and it was re-released with as a camp movie with the tagline, the biggest mother of them all. Which is kind of funny.
that's pretty great, actually.
It is. But yeah, I remember, and I actually remember this Saturday Night Live skit, I think it was. My grandma had a best of Saturday Night Live videotape. And I watched it, and I had never even heard of Mommy Dearest, but retroactively I remembered there was this skit about Mommy Dearest where Joan Crawford is hosting all these celebrities, and basically the entire skit is Clark Gable walks up, "Oh, hello, Christina. I was gonna take you horseback riding in the Palisades, but your mom said that you would prefer this handful of roast beef." And he throws roast beef in her hands, and Joan Crawford's like, "What do you say?" And she's like, "Thank you!" Basically something like that over and over again. I was going to give you this great gift, but your mom said that you'd prefer this really shitty gift instead. And it's over and over, and it's actually pretty funny now that I've seen the movie.
Wow. Yeah, for some reason, you talking about that had reminded me of another movie that I wanted to mention, but I can't think of it now. Damn it. It's so hard being me. What the fuck was Jesus Christ.
God, B movies are hard for me to think of for some reason. I never it's Rocky Horror Picture Show, maybe? I like that one.
A B movie that turned into.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's good.
That seems too obvious, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of female. When I think of B movies, I generally think of, horror movies or low budget movies, where sometimes the budget is pretty visible. But yeah, there's a lot of things can be.
Does Clerks count?
Yeah, I would say
Definitely.
Clerks. El Mariachi definitely is a B movie.
I can't really speak about that because I remember so little of it now.
Oh yeah.
I need to watch it again. We need to watch it again.
Yeah, I think B movies are fun too because there's usually a huge story behind them as well too.
Mm-hmm.
On the trials and tribulations of getting them made. Both Clerks and El Mariachi are two that you could write a book, I'm sure, about the making of, one of which was with El Mariachi. But there's something really fun about B movies because, I mean, most of the time B movies have this exude this passion that's infectious.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of to bring it back around to a film like The Room, or you know, a film that's or any of Ed Wood's films, made so earnestly from someone who like just loved what they were doing, even though what they were doing was not very good in the sense of, you know, high art or quality, but there's something about the passion in them wanting to do it and going through with it and making it, which makes it so,
Right.
adds to the experience of the enjoyment of the film, which is probably the main reason why a movie like The Disaster Artist ended up getting made, even though there was a book written about it, but you know, from the actor. I mean, James Franco in his reviews, he loved the passion that Tommy and you know his friend had for wanting to make a movie, go out and doing it and actually making it. And I think that's kind of the tendency with B movies that I think a lot of people on the surface of, you know, the general movie going population, you know, disregard B movies as just lame stuff that they don't want to watch. But me, I think some of the most fun films to watch are B movies because almost more often than not, you're going to find someone who really, really believes in their movie and wants to make it more in a B movie than you would in a studio film where they're taking a paycheck, you know?
I thought of another one, by the way.
What?
Troll 2.
Yeah, of course.
You don't piss on hospitality.
And that's the exact, I mean, like, if you see Best Worst Movie Ever, which was made about Troll 2, you can see, like, that director clearly is a little off. But completely 100% believes in what he's making and wanting that to be the way that it is. However, the product is confusing enough, but like he believes in it 100%. Like
I don't remember a lot of that movie. I remember Troll 2, but I don't remember a lot of the documentary, except the one part that made me really sad. It was Hi.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
The saddest thing I remember about Best Worst Movie Troll 2, or about Troll 2, and it's the only thing I remember really, was the scene where the dad from Troll 2 is going around. And I'm not sure if he was doing it because the cameras were there, like for the documentary, and he knew he was being filmed about it, or if it's something he does on a regular basis. I hope it was the former. Because it was like this dude, he's like a dentist in real life, and he's going door to door. Hi, how are you doing? Would you like some dental service? Oh, have you ever seen the movie Troll 2? I was in the movie Troll 2. You should look it up. I was in that movie. I played the dad. And like pretty much every person he sees. And it's like, oh, God, you're making me groan.
I bet it was just for the movie. But yeah, I know, there's something so sad about that. But that's I love Troll 2. And I love Best Worst Movie. Both those are really fun. Well, one more depressing than fun, but
Right.
yeah.
Do you have like a wrap-up question? Because you usually, like when you're on the podcast, you're really good at coming up with like a good question to answer.
Well, let's see. If I were to come up with a wrap-up question.
No.
What?
Hey, what question would you want me to come up with? Is that
Well, Jeffrey, do you prefer plastic or wire hangers, and why?
Well, they each have their own qualities. It's hard for me to choose. I guess, by and large, plastic. because if you step on the wrong part of the wire hanger, that could really hurt. But on the other hand,
So you hanging clothes on the ground?
no, just like hangers get on the ground sometimes. You take something off the shelf, the hanger falls, or whatever, or off the out of the closet, whatever. On the other hand, you can a wire hanger can be repurposed into something else, like attach it to the TV antenna to get a better signal. For example, or unbend it and turn it into like a marshmallow roaster. So it's more multi-purpose than the plastic hanger. Pretty much all you can do with the plastic is hang clothes.
I have to agree with Joan Crawford. I do not like wire hangers. There
You don't?
should be no more of them.
What? Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
I prefer plastic, although I don't have anything currently hanging in my room because I don't just have anything hanging in my room. But I liked plastic hangers because you could also break them and use them to unclog a toilet. As I
Plastic
found.
hangers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've heard you can do that with wire hangers. I've never heard of that with plastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
My question is...
Not that it was ever my toilet that was clogged.
My question is this.
Asking for a friend. All right. What? Okay.
My question is this. The scene where...
Jeff Crenshaw clogged the toilet.
The scene where... The scene in Mommy Dearest... I know you're going to take the opportunity to savage the movie, but I don't, that's fine. The scene in Mommy Dearest where she beats the kid with the hanger because she hated the fact the kid had wire hangers. Like, who bought the wire hangers, and why was she so surprised that they were there? Like, this kid was like 8 in the movie, and like the 8-year-old, I want some wire hangers.
So in context, it makes no sense.
And
you're over here like, oh, well, in context.
Well,
in context.
Context
makes Mommy Dearest more.
In context of the film, it makes sense. Her behavior makes sense because she's a nut. And that people do irrational things. But from a standpoint of what her motivations were, why would she blame the kid for the wire hangers? My guess is it was like a house servant. This is what makes the most sense. Like Mamacita had gone out and bought the hanger. I think it must have been like a housekeeper who got the wire hangers and without Joan's knowledge. Like maybe it was Mamacita or something. Mamacita isn't in the movie. She was introduced in like Feud, Betty versus Joan, which is a pretty good series too. I think Dunaway is my preferred Joan Crawford, but what's her name? Jessica Lange did a great job as well. Just a more subdued Joan Crawford, the public face, if you will. But except in the scenes with Mamacita, you see a little bit of the Dunaway come through. But it's Mamacita was Joan Crawford's like Spanish or German nanny, who was given the Spanish nickname for some reason. Yeah. But anyway, you prefer plastic.
Yeah, plastic hangers.
And I guess I prefer plastic, but I'm not like really particular about it.
And in other words, the moral of the story is...
Yes, sir?
End on a question which no one gives two fucks about your answer. And that has been the latest episode of Heavy Set Go. This is Ben Eastman.
Jeff Crenshaw.
Wow, my outro of stating my name was considerably less important and awesome than yours. So I'm going to say it one more time. Ben Eastman!
This is Heavy Set Go.